Shocking incident coming to light from West Bengal's Mangalkot constituency. A TMC minister, Siddiqullah Chowdhury, was welcomed with brooms and lathis by the locals in his own constituency. Chowdhury's car was cornered by the locals. Slogans were raised against him. You can see it all happening on your screens. The locals claimed that they were fed up with the rising violence in their area due to two factions of TMC constantly in conflict with each other. The police has managed to disperse the crowds. Shreyasi is following this story for us. Shreyasi, coming to you on this. Now, here is a situation where the voters are holding their elected representative accountable for the situation that they are facing. So, this is a very good example of how leaders should not probably take their voters for granted or their constituencies for granted. Shreyasi will be joining us very shortly, but those visuals, viewers, if you can see, you can actually see how people have raised protest against their representative, in this case Siddiqullah Chowdhury, who visited his constituency Mangalkot, only to be greeted with brooms and lathis. The reason for the anger is that there has been consistent violence in this area between two factions of TMC, which of course leaves them in a state of perpetual unrest and disturbance. And there you see people out on the roads with their brooms protesting against this particular leader who came to visit his constituency. Shreyasi on the phone line. Shreyasi, I was just raising this issue with you that this is perhaps a very good example of how people can hold their leaders accountable for the kind of situation that prevails in their constituency, and nobody, no elected representative should take their voters for granted.
Well, it's an extremely embarrassing situation for the TMC minister there in the pictures. As you can see, it is when he was visiting his constituency yesterday afternoon, when the locals, the angry locals, came out in large numbers with brooms and lathis in their hand and cleared out the minister's convoy in his own constituency. And the irony was that these locals were also allegedly TMC supporters themselves, and but they were so fed up with the situation on ground in the constituency because of the constant conflict between the two factions of the TMC supporters that they decide to take matters into their own hands and ask for action from the TMC minister whose constituency it is. And then the police had to step in and disperse the crowd before the convoy could move ahead.
Yes, but we do hope that valuable lessons are learnt from this, Shreyasi. Any reaction from the MLA in question, from the minister, TMC minister rather, in question, because this should be a wake-up call for the minister?
Well, the TMC minister has not yet spoken to the media, and even in the visuals, as you can see, his glass is rolled up. He doesn't even step out to speak to the locals to find out what is the problem, why have they cleared out his convoy. We only see the inspector around the police barricade trying to stop the protesters. The minister himself didn't even step out for a single moment to check with the locals, speak to them who have voted him into power.
Right. A very, very emphatic statement by the voters as they face their representative with brooms and lathis to protest against the prevailing unrest in their constituency. Many thanks for joining us, Shreyasi.